Hello! So, I just want to do a video. I haven't done a video on Aurora for a while, but I've never actually did like a actual character video about her stuff, like I do some of these other characters, right? So we're gonna do that now. Aurora. As a child, Aurora chose to follow the light. She left her house and went a long way to finally receive the title of Paladin of Riversar, thus becoming a protector and lantern for her people. Right, so she is a tank. Her main stat is strength. Right, right. So she is unique in the tanks is that she's the only one who has the dodge stat. This is super important. That's a big part of why she is the best tank in the game. But also, her skills. She has Crystal Celius. This is an AE magic damage. Not a lot of tanks have AE abilities, so this is pretty good. It's also her ult, so then she has Crystal Onslaught. This is stuns a nearby target. This is pretty. It's like a 1 second stun. Not this, probably her worst ability. Piercing Light. This is another AE damage. So she has two different AE magic damages. Right, so she's always been a really good Martha counter. Like, this is like most things we've learned a lot, like, years ago. Like, when I first picked her up, like, when I first picked this game up. Like, she's really good at countering Martha because AE damage knocks over Martha's teapot, right? And she has two different AE damage moves. But this skill right here, Rainbow Halo, is one of the best skills in the game. This is a passive skill. The shield partially absorbs magic damage. After absorbing a certain amount of damage, the shield explodes, damage nearby enemies. So the amount of damage it can absorb is equal to 1/10 of her health. So maxed out, she has 813k health. So it's about 81,000 damage before it absorbs before it explodes and does like a PBAOE damage. Like I said, this does a lot of damage. Like she has pretty low magic penetration. Like it's only 1249. Most of it comes from this glyph right here. That's the majority of her magic penetration right there with one glyph. Right, the only way to raise that is by doing Merlin patronage. Right, Merlin patronage, they're like I said, sometimes like it can be useful to give her extra penetration, but then you're kind of stuck not using all of her arcane. We'll talk a bit about that in a second, but yeah, so that's like I said, so that is very good ability. This, right, even though she doesn't have magic defense, right, she only has 5,224, and almost all that comes from her intelligence stats, right? She doesn't need it because of Rainbow Halo, she has the best magic mitigation of any hero in the entire game, right? So between this and dodge, she has always been one of the best tanks in the game. But 2 years ago, in November of 2019, they added something that changed the entire game called pets. And more specifically, they added patronage, right? This allowed her to patron with Kayn. Maxed out Kayn adds 34.966% bonus energy on a successful dodge. Right, this means this after 3 successful dodges, Aurora can use her ult, right? Because Aurora has such a high dodge already, Aurora can use her ult quite a bit. And because he has even more dodge, right? So this can create a cycle, right? So she has artifacts that her artifact weapon actually adds a dodge buff, so this buffs her dodge even more. So you kind of get this cycle. It's like a self-feeding cycle, right? Kayn gives her extra energy on dodge, which allows her to buff dodge, which allows her to dodge more frequently. That lets her get even more energy, which allows her to use her ult even more frequently, which allows her to buff her dodge even more, right? Like I said, it's very possible to get multiple dodge buffs at once. I mean, like in Guild War, I think my best in Guild War is about 12 dodge buffs, which is like an extra 110k dodge for the whole team, which is like insane. In adventures, like sometimes you'll have the 100% extra energy buff for tanks, right? And then you'll just see Aurora just go absolutely crazy with that. But yeah, like I said, I did a video on that like probably my first videos about tank extra energy madness or whatever. But right, then she has another one that's dodge. Book of Illusions adds dodge, and then of course Ring of Strength that helps add pretty much adds strength and health to her. Like Aurora actually has pretty low strength. That is, like I said, she is, even though she, like I said, she's kind of vulnerable to crits because her primary stats actually kind of low. But that does mean, like I said, I mean, they have to land the physical attack because she has dodge. They're less likely to land the physical attack, but she is likely to get hit with crits more, and because she has low armor. Right, like I said, if she fails dodge rolls, like sometimes she can die really quickly. That is a thing, but Like I said, she's because dodge is doesn't matter how much armor penetration the enemy team has, right? You cannot, like I said, she will always mitigate around 50% of all damage just by virtue of being a dodge hero. A lot to, like, if buff, like, by 50% physical attacks, like probably more than that because she's buffing dodge. She mitigates the majority of magic damage on her, right? Like I said, so really it's pure damage and bad dodge rolls that kill her. Right, so she is very, very good. Like, she is OP. Right, to be the combination of Kayn patronage with her artifact buffs, like, because she could buff dodge so much for the whole team, right? Like I said, the physical attackers were pretty much completely and totally ineffective. So she kind of had this nickname of like the Great Oppressor. At least, like I said, we kind of like she's really just overpowered. She's probably second or third best hero in the entire game. Right. After they added pets, there's actually another thing they added to the game about 5 weeks after pets, and that was Sebastian. Right. So the thing about dodge is that if you are stunned, you cannot dodge, which allows, that's usually when those crits and stuff come into play. But then Sebastian came into play with Ode to Serenity, and then now so Aurora can't get stunned, right? She's now immune to the status effects. There's nothing, she can't block her energy with organs. There's nothing stopping the dodge spam. There's, right? So this just, Sebastian enabled her to be even more powerful, and this allowed her to really kind of cement herself as the best tank in the game, like one of the best heroes in the game, like Aurora, Sebastian, right? So that's kind of like the third hero of that leg. But Aurora Sebastian combo, like I said, he's the biggest enabler for Aurora being broken as she is. And right, the crazy thing is, like, everyone like associates Kayn as kind of like Aurora's pet, right? Kayn is Aurora's pet, right? She's only one of 9 heroes that can use it, and she's the hero he's most commonly used with. The crazy thing is, Aurora is the only hero in the game who can patron of 5 favorite pets. She has other options. She can use Oliver, which is her second most used pet. Oliver is very good on her because it gives her some extra health and some armor, but also gives her regen when she's below 50% health. Like, and maxed out Oliver, it's like 32k health a second he regens. It's a lot. With Bubbles of Justice up with Axel. So without Bubbles of Justice, it's like 22k, but Axel makes it like 32k. It's like insane. Like I said, Merlin, I mentioned, like, is the only pet that boosts armor penetration, right? And this can be help Aurora to get some extra damage out of Rainbow Hailers on. Sometimes, like, maybe like against like a Orion or a Helios, you might want that. I mean, it's marginal, but I have used it a few times. There's some lineups. I haven't seen a lineup like where it was worth using recently, but he's an option. Usually you're using Kayn or Oliver. There's Biscuit. Biscuit is actually not bad on Aurora because she does have multiple AEs, which can allow her to strip buffs. I think Maya is a much better choice for Biscuit. But if for whatever reason you have Kayn and Oliver on other heroes you need, right, Biscuit is probably the next best choice in most cases. And then the last pet she can use is Axel. There's not a lot of reasons to ever really want to use Axel on Aurora. I mean, it's there, but, it's an option. I wouldn't, there's not a lot of reasons to because she's pretty tanky. You don't really need protection from one-shot hits. He adds armor and magic attack, but so does Biscuit, and most time Biscuit's going to be better. But then again, everyone has Axel developed because Axel is the best defense pet, so... But I would say Biscuit over Axel pretty much every case. I can't think of any case where you want to protect her from one-shot hits because usually you want to protect Celeste or Lars or something from one-shot hits, whereas Aurora's not the one that you usually have to worry about for that. But those are the pets, and then we should probably actually talk about her glyphs. Like I said, so as I said, Dodge is her most important stat. This should be the first glyph you develop. Right, and I would say magic penetration most times should be the second one, just because she doesn't have a lot of magic penetration, and she can do a lot of damage with her A's, with her dodge spam, or with her artifact spam, with like the buffs, dodge buffs. Like, she does a lot of A damage. Like I said, magic penetration is super important for her to do that. Magic penetration helps her do damage with a Rainbow Halo. I'd say that's her second most important glyph, and I'd probably do magic attack next, then strength. Right, because this protects from crits, raise your health. I'd probably do the health glyph last unless you're really hurting for health. Like, if for whatever reason you just don't have the survivability, you can raise the health. Right, before you have Kayn, though, like, you do get extra energy for dodges. Like, on low levels, like, just having a high dodge stat's usually enough to keep her alive, just because everyone has really low primary stats, because people haven't done a lot of glyph work. So if you have dodge here, and you also have dodge from her skins. Right, she can dodge a lot of things. And skin-wise, of course, you want to do the Nordic skin first, because that adds dodge. Then you probably want to do strength second, and then spring third, and then devil skin. It adds some armor. It's like, I mean, on low levels, this might be the second one you want to do. I don't feel like the devil skin really does much for her just because her armor is so low. Like, all the heroes you have to worry about for her have enough penetration that this doesn't matter. I mean, it can help a bit. Like, there are some, like, Sebastian doesn't have penetration on naturally. And that's pretty much the main thing you're using the double skin for, is to reduce the damage you take from Sebastian on missed dodge rolls. There is one reason you might not want that devil skin, though, and that's if for whatever reason you want to do Aurora with Andvari. Right, so long time ago, like 2 years ago, right, Andvari was a hero we used a lot with Aurora, like in this Nature's Barrier. Covers the lowest armor ally with a protective barrier that absorbs physical and pure damage. The hero protected by the barrier gains bonus energy for all damage absorbed. Right, so she has Kane to give her bonus energy, but before Kane was a thing, right, because Aurora had such low armor, this Nature's Barrier would actually go on Aurora. This would allow her to get extra energy. This still works. Like, if Aurora is your lowest armor hero, like, this still works, so there is a reason you, like I said, for whatever you want to use, like Aurora and Andvari, and Andvari is a very good hero. Like, Andvari's found a lot in a lot of teams, and you can use them right behind Aurora lots, right? This works, right? Like I said, this still works if you skip that devil skin. So it's something to consider. But I haven't maxed. Like, I do think, like I said, it's really just, like, it really depends. Like, I think it's worth doing unless you really want to take advantage of Nature's Barrier. With Andvari, you can't undo the skin, which is something I really wish they would fix in Hero Wars. I wish they'd let you reset skins and glyphs like you can with Gift of the Elements. You can reset this, right? I wish you could do that with other things. But it is what it is. Yeah, so that's pretty much it with Aurora. Like, she's the best tank in the game, probably second or third best hero in the game. She's overpowered, and she's very, just like I said, the great oppressor. Like, she's a must-have hero, and I recommend everyone invest in her. Anyway, I hope you guys found this video informative. Thank you for watching.